Okay, so hopefully you remember your linear functions from your topics last week. So last week you chose a topic and created a scenario about that topic. So my topic was TV shows. If you need a reminder, I put a link right here to last week's topic. If you go on topic scenarios and creating a scenario, that was the topic you chose. So for me, my topic was, oh, sorry. Let me make sure I show you mine. And okay, so mine was TV shows. And I said, okay, I'm going to have a linear relationship between watching TV and exercising. So for every 30 minutes of television I watch, I will exercise for 5 minutes. That was my scenario. So I made that. I even made a little skit, a video. You could watch what happened in the video. And I even graphed the data. So I made a data table and I graphed the data, and you did the same thing with your scenario. So now, after you created a data table and graph your scenario, we're actually going to create a function that describes what happened in your scenario. Um, so just as a reminder, okay, here we go. We are here on functions, linear functions for your topic. So in my notebook, I'm going to go ahead and remind myself. So below the predictable outputs, you should have something for 2 and 3. I'm going to go ahead and write linear topics, linear functions for your topics. So linear functions for your topic. Okay, so go ahead and write that in your notebook. Pause the video here under predictable outputs. Write down linear functions for your topic. Okay, so my linear relationship last week was for every 30 minutes of TV, I will do 5 minutes of exercise. And I wrote a table of my data and I graphed my data as well. So I would like for you to go ahead and create a function for yours. So a function has an input. Remember, a function is a relationship, for which every input has one unique output. Okay? So for example, in my data table, so my example was for every 30 minutes of watching TV, I exercise for 5 minutes. So essentially, I took my input. My input here is watching TV, and the output was exercising, right? For every 30 minutes of watching TV, I get out 5 minutes of exercise. So my input was 30 minutes of watching TV becomes my output of 5 minutes of exercise. So the key question here is, what is the relationship between 30 minutes and 5 minutes, right? What can I do to my input to get my output of 5 minutes? So I can try various experiments. You don't have to write this part down. This is just me showing you my thinking. You yourself will show me your thinking for your topic and your function. So for my example, you don't have to copy this. I'm like, okay, well, maybe if I take 30 minutes and subtract 25 minutes, that's 5 minutes, right? The thing though is, this has to work for every input, meaning I can take 25 minutes away and I get the output I want. So if I look at my table, it says, look, well, if I have 60, my output is 10, right? 60 minutes of exercise or watching TV. So 60 minutes of watching TV means I need 10 minutes of exercise. Well, if I do what I said, go ahead and take 60 minutes and subtract 25 minutes, I would get 35 minutes, which is not correct, right? I'm supposed to get 10 minutes of exercise. So subtracting 25 minutes does not work. Let me try something else. Maybe I can do 30 minutes divided by 6 minutes, or divided by 6. So if I do 30 minutes divided by 6, I would get 5 minutes. So that does work. That works. But again, it has to work for every input, okay? If I put in 60, I should get 10. If I put in 10, I should get 1.67. So let me try it. So I'm going to do 60 minutes divided by 6. And yes, I do get 10 minutes. This works. So my function is essentially taking my input and dividing it by 6. And that gives me my output, right? My function is taking my input, dividing by 6, and getting my output. So for every minute of watching TV, I divide by 6 to get my minutes of exercise. So this is for my example. I did a little bit experimenting to kind of get to where my function should be. I would like for you to do the same. Whatever your topic was, figure out the relationship between your input and output and express it to me. So whether it's adding, multiplying, dividing, subtracting, whatever it was that worked for your function or for your scenario, go ahead, work it out. Write down what you had to do to your input to get your output. Take a photo of your notebook and then upload it on Dreamseedo. If you have trouble with this, ask me during workshop.